don't think you get any justice in front of this city council. They can't be fair, they can't be impartial, they're biased. I've never had a hearing where we don't cross-examine witnesses against my clients. I'm sick. I'm sick to the pit of my stomach. I've asked every council member, was there a vote to start this investigation? And every one of them said no, but yet we're moving forward this process in violation of your own ordinance and your own procedure. I've asked every council member about the complaint, and none of them have seen a complaint, but yet they're moving forward with this process. You can't drag me in any hearing or any court proceeding without filing a complaint against me and tell me what I'm accused of. What is he accused of? I don't know yet. I have issue with it. Somebody should be upset other than me.
It's just nothing more than high-tech lynching, so that's it. We have members of the council who will now go in and vote whether or not to censure Councilman Williams on actions and allegations of people who have not even come to this hearing to even testify. Ms. Carter, who, I don't know if she filed a complaint or not. Nobody's seen the complaint, nobody even heard the complaint, but has made allegations against Councilman Williams, and she's not even here to testify against Mr. Williams. We could have disputed a lot of things that she said in this report, but have not been given the opportunity to do that. Ms. Bateman talked about due process. You're an experienced litigator.
I am an experienced litigator.
You've litigated cases before based on that information, I would assume.
Before, I'm sorry?
I mean, you've litigated cases before?
Yes.
Have you ever had a time where you were in a hearing and you didn't get the opportunity to cross-examine any witnesses against your client?
Well, this is not that kind of hearing, and due process for this kind of hearing is completely different from due process in the hearings in which I try cases.
What kind of hearing is this?
My understanding is it's a censure hearing, a hearing of a censure motion.
So in a censure hearing, you're telling me that Mr. Councilman Williams should get the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses against him?
I am not telling you anything of the kind.
Well, you said this is a different type of hearing, so what's the difference in the hearing?
You said, have I ever litigated cases during which the witnesses did not have, the parties did not have an opportunity to cross-examine? I said, in my cases, that's a requirement of due process. That is not a requirement of due process as I understand it in censure hearings.
What is due process? Is due process not the same as a censure hearing as it is any other type of hearing? Is there a different kind of due process?
There are many kinds of due process. There's post-deprivation due process, there's pre-deprivation due process, there's substantive due process, there's procedural due process. If you've litigated constitutional due process claims like I have, you know the Supreme Court has written tomes on the nature of due process and what's required in any particular situation.
Does due process not require the opportunity to cross-examine the witness against you?
Not in every situation.
You mean to tell me there's a hearing where a witness can say something, I don't get the opportunity to cross-examine that witness?
I'm not a law professor, I don't want to lecture you on the law.
I'm actually lecturing on the law. I'm asking you based on your experience as a litigator.
No, you're asking me the law. You're asking me whether due process as a legal requirement requires the opportunity to confront witnesses. I'm telling you due process is different in different situations.
Is that not an aspect of due process?
In some cases.
So it's not in all cases.
I am not aware that this hearing is being conducted outside the requirements of due process. As far as I know, it is.
I've been doing this 25 years, and due process for me means being able to confront and cross-examine my accusers. And if I can't do that, then you violated my due process and my equal protection rights. We've had Ms. Bateman come here and talk about her report, and there are things in the report that are questionable, but we can't question them because the people who told her aren't here. But those multiple people aren't here for us to cross-examine today. And so if a witness lied to you, your report is potentially flawed. Crap out, crap in. I mean, crap in, crap out. Is that right? So if it's getting bad information in your investigation, does that not flaw your opinion? And your
I would have to tell you this, that I stand by everything in that investigation.
And so if a witness lied to you, does that not flaw your opinion in your report?
Absolutely, absolutely. If Councilmember Williams lied to you, that would be...
If he lied to, again, if he's witness you interviewed, if he lied to you, that flaws your report.
No flaws,
That's my question. That was my question. And so you're basically just taking people at their word. And we don't get the opportunity to question that. There are legal conclusions in this report, claiming he was defensive, claiming his demeanor was aggressive. His demeanor was demeaning and authoritative. On page 33, I'm just kind of hitting and missing right now because I can't go through this whole entire thing. He said that Mr. Hardison described Councilman Williams' actions as a temper tantrum. What was he doing that was a temper tantrum?
You'll have to ask Mr. Hardison that.
Unfortunately, Mr. Hardison's not here. I can't ask him. That's what I'm asking you.
Mr. Hardison's letter speaks for itself then.
No, it doesn't, Miss Bailey. I can have kids, and my kids throw a temper tantrum, they roll all on the floor. Mr. Williams rolled all on the floor.
Mr. Hardison described his behavior as a temper tantrum.
And you didn't ask Mr. Hardison what he meant by that?
I would have loved to have asked Mr. Hardison, but he was not made available to me for interviewing.
So you took what was said in that letter, and you stuck it in here without even interviewing Mr. Hardison.
I could not interview Mr. Hardison. He was not made available to me by his attorney.
Crap in, crap out. What do those things mean? Where are the facts to support those things? And this council will go in and will probably vote to censor Mr. Williams, which is going to be a travesty and an injustice if it does happen. But these are things that are being alleged against this man, and this man doesn't have the right to cross-examine and confront his accusers. It's an injustice. It's an absolute injustice, and the citizens of Goldsboro should be upset.
Yeah.
I'll read this. I have a model code of ethics for North Carolina local elected officials on suggested guidelines for a board to follow if it decides to include a censor proceeding in its code. However, a strong caution is in order. Boards should consider carefully the implications for community and board trust and for accused members' reputation before including such a procedure in the code or before beginning censor proceedings in particular cases. If this censor proceeding goes forward and this man is censored, there's no trust in the community for this council. No trust in the community for this council. I've sat here and I've shown how they violate their own procedure, and they sat here on the very beginning and voted against me, and I've shown how you violate your own procedure. So my motion, first of all, would be to dismiss this procedure.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed likewise? Opposed likewise? Opposed likewise?
If I can go on the record and say this is exactly what my point exactly. He can't be effective when it comes to this council. This is my point exactly. How is the council going to vote on that motion when I just laid out the bias of the council? How can the council now vote on that motion? They can't vote on that motion. I just laid out the bias of the council. This is a violation of due process. The other issue is the city council was provided an investigation report that was done by, I think, Ms. Bateman. They were briefed on that report. They've had an opportunity to review the report. I don't know how many have actually reviewed it, but they've had an opportunity to review that report. There were things said in that report by witnesses who may or may not come into court and testify today. We've issued several subpoenas. I've been told that some of the people who subpoenaed to be here to testify have been told they didn't have to show up for this hearing. Now, the council has already seen those statements of witnesses, and we won't have the opportunity to cross-examine those witnesses at this hearing today because they're not here. And so the council, in my opinion, will be biased going in because they've seen this information and we don't have the opportunity to dispute it. So I don't know how the council can sit in judgment. I don't know how the council can try this case with that information. I think it's a violation of Mr. Williams' due process rights, his equal protection rights, and it's not, the council can't be fair and impartial in this matter. And so my first position would be to make a motion to have this thing dismissed, because I think the council and the mayor as well are all potential witnesses in this case. So I don't know how you can sit as a judge and be a witness in the case at the same time. This is probably one of the worst cases I've ever seen as far as due process in my 25 years of practice. You have in essence, the jury sitting in judgment of this man who've already seen the reports and what witnesses are going to say who aren't going to be here to testify. That's troubling. And it's troubling to no end from my perspective as an attorney who has done this for 25 plus years. And there's no way he can have a fair hearing from this council. Where's the trust if this goes forward? It's Councilman Williams today. It could be any one of you tomorrow. It's disheartening. 25 years of legal experience I've never seen anything as big a mess as this. I got an article in the newspaper yesterday. I don't know who sent it, but this is the kind of thing that's been going on in this case. I just want to read this article in the newspaper, and this is my concern. Last paragraph of the article basically, I won't even go through the other part of it. Council could ask the city attorney to seek local legislation to author a recall election, even remove Williams from office by a motion proceeding according to city council. So this man is jeopardized and run the risk of being removed from this seat and has not had opportunity to cross down the witness against him. Tell me how that's not an injustice. I've asked every council member about the complaint, and none of them have seen a complaint, but yet they're moving forward with this process. I've asked every council member, was there a vote to start this investigation, and every one of them said no, but yet we're moving forward with this process in violation of your own ordinance and your own procedure. Somebody should be upset other than me.
We are. You're totally upset.
Somebody should see the injustice in this other than me. I've wrestled with this case since Mr. Williams has contacted me. And from the very beginning, I said, tell me what the complaint is. Provide me a copy of the complaint, because that's how this process is supposed to start, with the filing of a complaint. You can't drag me in any hearing or any court proceeding without filing a complaint against me and tell me what I'm accused of. What is he accused of? I don't know yet. I have issue with it, serious issue with it, and if he's censored, it shouldn't stop here. My plan is to take it in front of a Superior Court judge, because I don't think he gets any justice in front of this city council. They can't be fair, they can't be impartial, they're biased. They've read this report, and none of them have questioned these witnesses. They've taken Ms. Bateman at her word. I've never had a hearing where we don't cross-examine witnesses against my clients. I'm sick. I'm sick to the pit of my stomach with this hearing. And if it proceeds, the council should be ashamed. The council should be ashamed. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm aggressive, but I'm sick to the pit of my stomach. As an African-American man, it can happen to me. And I don't get the opportunity to cross-examine my accusers. I've been doing criminal law for 25 years. I've never seen it before in my life. I've been doing administrative hearings for 25 years. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. And if that's the case, why are we even having a hearing? Why are we even having a hearing? Let the council go in closed session and vote to censor him. Because this has been a kangaroo court. They called one witness, and that's Ms. Bateman, who doesn't even have any first-hand knowledge of what went on. I'm sick. I'm sick. And the sooner I get this over and get out of Goldsboro, the better off I'll be, because I'm sick. And I wish the room had been filled with citizens of Goldsboro, because the citizens of Goldsboro should be sick. How can you trust your council if this is allowed to go? If this was going forward with the council, how can the citizens trust their council? I can't do the math, because it may take me a month to do a report like this, where it may take you 2 weeks to do one.
I can assure you it did not take 2 weeks.
That's why I'm asking about how many hours did it take you in this investigation and doing this report?
I can't answer
This is a
that
pretty
question.
lengthy report. That's why I'm
I
kind
think
of
I said
curious.
I can't answer that question.
So you mean your firm only made $1,500 in expending 47-page report plus your investigation, your time?
Pardon me, what was the
So your
question?
firm only made $1,500, and you've done a 47-page report and interviewed, I don't know how many witnesses, and according to you have done an addendum, 10-page report, and you only paid $1,500?
Well, it is a little embarrassing, I agree.
Very embarrassing, Ms. Bateman.
Mr. Aycock, do you know how much Ms. Bateman was paid to conduct the investigation?
She says $1,500. I know that's what we voted on.
If I told you that Councilman Williams has an invoice showing $5,000, would that surprise you? It wouldn't surprise you?
It would surprise
It
me.
would surprise you?
Yeah.
The citizens of Goldsboro aren't even being considered in this process. That's who you gentlemen represent up here, the citizens of Goldsboro. And this is tearing your city apart. I'm done. I'm done. But I would hope that the board would not censor based on what's been presented today. How can the board censor based on what's been presented today? How can the board even vote if there are witnesses that testified in this hearing today? As I said, it's Mr. Williams today. One of you may be calling me next week. Sitting in Mr. Williams' chair. I would hope not, but one of you very well could be. Thank you.
Me myself, I don't even want to vote. I'm just like, just let it go ahead and just get it done and get it over with. Because it should have been, like, it should have went and did what from the very beginning what I said. It should have been yourself, Mr. White, and a judge in the courthouse in Wayne County that's over on William Street and Walnut Street. It should have never came to the city council. The mayor, myself, and the rest of the other council members should have never had to be a jury or called as witnesses for something of this nature. It was between two people, Ms. Carter and Mr. Williams. And it should have never came to the city council because we're not doing right now anything for the city of Goldsboro. We're not doing a thing for people in District 1, the people of District 2, people of District 3, people of District 4, and people of District 5 and 6. We're not doing anything for them. We're wasting time, taxpayer money, and everything else. So truthfully, let's just go to the closed session, however it's going to go, and just move forward. Because this should not be going place with the city council. It should be in front of a court of law, and you should be actually facing a full judge that is in office right now, and you guys should be having actual witnesses and subpoenas that are going between two people, not the city council.
Well, if you stop being a coon and start voting the right way, it might be different.
And may I ask who that is?
It doesn't even matter. No, just let it go.
No, man.
But you voted for
Just-
them to have it, but now you're saying they should.
I was just about to say.
I didn't vote
mean,
for anything. My hand did not go up.
I'm with the attorney and Mr. Williams on, I would make a motion to have this case dismissed.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed likewise? Hand? Opposed likewise?
Yes,
My
it is.
hand did not go up. My hand did not go up. My hand did not go up. My hand did not go up, and it will not go up. It has not gone up. No, it did not.
It did because of.
Okay.
Please, y'all, please. I'd like to say something. There are no winners today. Today will be a day that will always be a reminder of what should have happened. How could both sides have handled this situation differently? Was it all worth the pain? Did the outcome of this situation outweigh the needs of the people? Did hate, jealousy, and envy play a role within this situation? I will always reflect on this day. There are no winners, only losers. There have been many sleepless nights, much pain and suffering. Our community must trust all our leaders. Our community must trust all our city employees. My stance has never changed. I was elected to stand with the people of District 1, to bring transparency. I have been honest throughout this employee's allegations. However, I have found many that are involved that lack honesty. Many have chosen to side with those that lack integrity. What side of history will you stand on? Good or bad? Right or wrong? Justice or injustice? How do we rebuild our trust? It is vital to the success of Goldsboro. It is vital to the future of all who live in Goldsboro. Today, it will be a day that will always be a reminder of what should have happened. Did we, the people of District 1, fight hard against injustice? Did we all seek out the truth? Time and resources that would have been better used, helping better our community, were instead allocated for investigations that increased the bank accounts of some. Those resources would have better served our lower wealth communities, STEM programs, summer employment, a citizen in need. When is it ever worth fighting? When you have the 5th poorest city within the United States. Is it worth fighting? When families are working 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet, it's worth fighting. When young men and women are being slaughtered with gun violence, it's worth the fight. When employees and elected officers think it's okay to use money that are purposed to help fight poverty for projects other than what they are intended for, I will fight. There are no winners today, just false allegations that have divided many. So many untruths, the average person doesn't know what to believe. Nobody wins when we all feud. God bless you. Thank you for everybody who came and supported me. Thank you so much.
During your comment, you said that you saw evidence, the exhibits of the investigation. So you actually looked through those exhibits over there.
I have the exhibits that were provided me, and which were provided all council members.
Miss Melissa, the exhibits that's in that folder and the exhibits that were provided to us are the same, correct?
They're redacted.
Don't have names.
Approved to be released.
Okay, but just basically doesn't have names or anything. Okay, but same material.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in that material, what did you find that was any proof that Mr. Williams did any of the things that he was accused of? Because I'm just saying, for me, for your answer, I didn't see anything within the first 75% of it. It just a bunch of documents. So I want to know what did you see that made you come to the conclusion that he needs to be censored?
I don't believe that I have a requirement to answer that.
I think, Councilman Foster, even a better question for me is not what you see, but the better question for me is, wouldn't you like to have heard from the witness yourself? And you don't have to answer that. It's a rhetorical question. Would you like to have heard from the witness personally?
Sir, the hearing's done, and so this is just council member comments. So
I'll keep on talking.
Would any other council member like to
I'm
talk?
still talking. I ain't stopped.
Mr. Foster has the floor.
Once again, I mean, I looked through the exhibits just standing there. Not one thing within that first 75% of it. I mean, it's terrible. If anybody get a chance, please take a look at it. I mean, it's sad that the decision would be based off that. It's sad that a lawyer came down here, took the city's money and basically ran. And that's what she gave us as evidence of her investigation. It's nothing in there, you know. But this is how the city's going to base their decision. So once this decision is based, this even opens the door up more for a lawsuit from Mr. Williams to the city, and we're going to put the city at jeopardy of that. So that's something that you guys might want to think about before you make this vote.
Any more comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Opposed, likewise? I couldn't see more.
I got my hand up.
I couldn't see more.
I got my hand up.
Likewise? I couldn't see more.
I
couldn't see more.
I got my hand up.
Okay, so it's a 4-3 vote. The motion fails, and Councilman Williams will not be censored. Thank you.
Finally! And it's still voting in November. And it's